I did something and I should have started doing it a long time ago. I already basically have little to no contact with my parents, who are very, very MAGA coded. But what I haven't done is break contact with the authority figures that I grew up with that I actually trusted. Trust is hard for me to come by, especially when it comes to authority figures, just because of the environment I grew up in. So when I do actually trust and respect somebody, it's a big deal for me. Which makes it even harder when I have to admit that the person that I used to respect and I used to trust is gone. So all this started because I shared a meme on Facebook. I didn't grow up saying with liberty and justice for all every day to accept any fucking less. I have not been shy about my political beliefs on any platform. Just making that clear right now. Neither has the person who commented, which was my middle school band teacher. He commented, totally agree, so where exactly are you seeing a shortfall? I didn't see this comment until about a day later because I rarely go on Facebook. And I know this is very dramatic for me to say, but it was, when I saw that comment, I knew I had fucked up. Because, like I said, I believe in free speech. You can say what you want. We are allowed to disagree. And this person would make continuous posts on Facebook supporting MAGA, talking about how all liberals are evil, preaching about supporting veterans even when he's about to have a veteran tell him that that is not the case with this political party. And every kind of like MAGA vomit you can think of. And I tolerated it. I didn't comment. I didn't like it. I didn't dislike it. I just moved on. I did not respond to him until he commented on mine. So because I actually liked this authority figure at some point in my life, I was like, I'm going to approach this calmly. I addressed him directly. I've always looked up to and respected you. I know nothing I type here will change your mind, but I hope you take the time to read it because I'm nobody. I'm not going to change his mind. But before I unfriend him and block him, I wanted to at least give him my opinion. Like I said, because I respected him. It is a very long response. So I'm going to go through each one and give it like 3 seconds on screen. But yeah, pause to read. This is the end of me replying to him. And if you did pause to read, one of the things that I addressed was immigration law and the lack of due process with these deportations. And I linked the cases. And honestly, I was hoping it would end there, but of course it didn't. He responded with, I appreciate your response and will read the information you linked. As you can imagine, we do see things differently, but discussion is essential to understanding. Let me read what you sent. It was never going to be a discussion. Sure, that makes me immature, but honestly, I don't care at this point because it's not my job to explain how fucking human rights work to somebody who's 40 years older than me. And his response was even more disappointing than I thought it was going to be, because instead of addressing the social issues that I stated in my response, he changed the topic to government spending. You can pause to read. Change is hard. Cuts are necessary. As for legality, that is literally the Supreme Court's job. They will be busy. This administration has proven time and time again they don't give a fuck what the courts say. It doesn't matter if it's their job if the guy doesn't listen. So once again, I took like an hour to calm down, and I responded one final time and unfriended him. I had not blocked him yet. And just like I said, government spending has nothing to do with the right to bodily autonomy, transgender rights, and the removal of military history. Pause to read for a second before I move on to the next one. Pause to read. And pause to read one last time, because this is where I ended it. I could have not added on this last line, but yeah, I told him, thank you for being predictable and yet another disappointing authority figure. That was just me being petty and being legitimately sad that somebody I respected has, yeah. So he did respond again, but I didn't read it. I just blocked him. I know that's very immature of me, but I've had these conversations before. I knew I wasn't going to change his mind. Like I said, I'm nobody. I'm just another kid he taught in middle school. I didn't look at the response because I didn't want to be gaslit again about how cutting government spending is more important than people's basic human fucking rights. So yeah, I didn't read the response. I blocked him. And I've started to do that with every person that I friended on Facebook back in the day who puts out MAGA shit. And I should have done it a lot sooner. Because what really frustrates me about the whole situation is the morals and values that I grew up with, that these people taught me, they haven't changed. What people do with their body is between them and their doctor. None of our business. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Let people love and marry who they want. The law is the law, and even if you did a horrible crime and were caught in the middle of it, you are entitled to due process. And that's everyone in this country under our Constitution. It doesn't say citizens are entitled to due process. It says people are entitled to due process. Believe in science, not conspiracy theories. And I could spout out more and more, but I think people get the point. Like I said, it's really hard for me to trust people. I am going to keep and treasure my good memories of these people that I used to know. But at the end of the day, there are people like me, people that I care about and I love, being negatively affected by the actions of this administration. And I am never going to agree that government spending is more important than people. So yeah, that's what I've been depressed about this week. Thank you if you made it to the end. I know in my head I'm not alone in having to do this, but I feel alone. And if you do have time, I would appreciate hearing what other people have to say too. It's what I appreciate about TikTok. It feels like a community, and although there's going to be hate comments no matter what you post on social media, it feels more like a community here.